And Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the team, so if he's healthy, Lance won't need to start week 1, but Kyle Shanahan said he is not ruling that out as a possibility.
I definitely see it as Jimmy's the starter, but if Trey's ready to compete, I have no problem with that. I don't sit there and say, hey, no, we're not playing a rookie quarterback. We have to rest him the first year. I don't really make any decisions like that until I actually have an opinion on it, and that'll take to how I see him in camp. And if he comes in and he's playing at a high level and we think he gives us the best chance to win, we wouldn't hesitate to do that.
Well, according to Fox Bet, 49ers week 1 starter, Jimmy G is favored at minus 250.
Yeah.
Trey Lance plus 187. Their first 6 games at the Lions, at the Eagles.
2-0, then it gets tough.
Then they have the Packers, Seahawks, and at the Cardinals. And then they have their bye, and they come back at home against the Colts.
Yes. What's interesting here, of all the rookie quarterbacks that came into the league, there's only one team that's a Super Bowl contender, and that's San Francisco.
Right.
So it's interesting. Like, you can't put Trey in if he's not ready, because this division, you'll fall 3 games back in the division by October 15th if you mess around.
Yeah.
So this is a really, in a weird way, it's the greatest place to go for Trey Lance, but it's also the toughest because this is a Super Bowl roster. This is the toughest division. So you really got to be ready to play. This is
there's no expectations of the other rookie quarterbacks.
This is not Jordan Love gets the Lions twice. You're not getting this thing. You're getting the worst team in this division. Arizona was 500 and has made serious free agent moves. So this is like one of those things where it's a tough decision for San Francisco.
Well, because to your point with that, how good would he have to look to win the starting job from Jimmy Garoppolo, knowing what Jimmy Garoppolo is capable of if he's healthy?
You know what I think, Joy? That's a great question. The preseason, we think of it as useless. It is for a lot of teams. The preseason for San Francisco is not useless. Like, they need to see him in games and how he can play, because when the bullets are flying and it's real, I know we all say about the preseason, but
no, it matters for young players and rookies, and it matters for evaluators.
Yep.
Preseason's going to matter a lot for the Green Bay Packers this year.
Yeah.
So the Jaguars are being extra careful when it comes to their rookie quarterback, Trevor Lawrence. He's been dealing with some hamstrings last week, which forced him to stay out of 11-on-11 team drills during minicamp. He did some work on the side, and the rest of the team warmed up and participated in individual drills. He said it feels good, but it's frustrating not being able to go full speed. Another update out of Jags minicamp. Tim Tebow reportedly looked like he belonged.
To what?
To the team, I guess.
Okay.
To the team.
All
to
right.
the NFL.
I don't.
He belongs there.
I don't want to be negative guy.
I don't think I am skeptical, and I deserve to be skeptical of the situation.
No, we've earned some skepticism, but listen, we're not going. You and I aren't going to lose any sleep if Tebow makes the team. It's not going to lose. I'm
not rooting against it.
That's right.
I think it's amazing content. I can't wait to watch it, but I remain skeptical.
But he belonged, according to reports.
Looks like he belonged.
All right, that's fantastic. Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
Rick Bucher's around the corner. We're going to ask him things. It's interesting with KD. Like, I think KD's all-time great. But if you really are brutally honest with yourself, I try to be as honest with myself as I can. Generally, if you're in a dilemma in life, it's probably self-inflicted. It's not your mom's fault. It's not your dad's fault. It's not your wife's fault. You probably put yourself in a bad spot. KD is impulsive, and that's his personality. We've seen it on Twitter where he's doing stuff.
Report came out during the show from The Athletic detailing some tension brewing between Luka Doncic and the Mavericks front office. And the biggest riff is allegedly with gambler-turned-executive Bob Voulgaris. The two have reportedly had dust-ups since Voulgaris started working with the team in 2018. The Athletic also reported that Voulgaris has been one of the most influential voices in the organization and has the full support of team owner Mark Cuban. When this came out, Mark Cuban called the report BS.
Well, anytime you have a story with multiple sources leaking stuff in an organization, there's probably envy in the organization. The article also said, Joy, and this is not a small deal, that Luka is going to sign an extension with the Mavericks.
Yes. I mean, Luka's not leaving. Like, it's very difficult to leave $200 million on the table. Like, there's a way the salary cap is set up, and the team that has you can offer you the most money. That's why most guys stay through their rookie contract the length that they do, because it's really hard to walk away from that amount of money. Like we talk about Zion possibly doing it. It's like he might, but it's easy for us to say that when we don't have someone handing a $200 million check to us. So just to go somewhere else, especially at that point in your career. So I think he will sign there, but we know that long term, when stars are unhappy, it's just ticks and ticks and ticks.
It does.
And if you don't address things early on, eventually that contract will no longer be in place, and he will be a free agent, and he will still be in his prime because he's 22 right now. And the little stuff mounts up to big stuff.
I mean, the franchise, regardless of what's in that article, they have a 2-year window here in Dallas to get Luka a 2. If they do, this will have a very happy ending.
Right.
Even if you don't win titles, it's going to be a very happy ending. The issue is, and Portland knows this with Dame, and Mark knew this with Dirk, getting a 2, we always think getting a star is hard. Getting a 2 is not as hard, but it's close. You now get 1 year of college tape. You get G League, international. I mean, LaMelo's way better than we thought. And then there's other players aren't nearly as good as we thought. So the race for Mark Cuban is he's got to, in the next 2 years, really find a 2. You got 2 years, 2 drafts, 2 free agency periods. If you get to a third year where Luka's getting knocked out in the first round, then you get to a point where even if he had signed an extension, you've got a bitter star, because this kid, by the way, is global. He's willing to go. He's gone from one country to another. He's willing to move.
And his star is only rising.
For the next 7 years.
He's only growing in popularity. He's only growing in skill. And he is very, very young. So, yes, it's very possible that he could end up leaving if they don't find a 2 or put things together. And I would argue it's just as hard to find a 2 as it is to find a 1, because it is a 2-star league.
Oh, and also, what you have to find, Joy, is somebody that's not quite as good as the 1.
Right.
Scottie Pippen always knew Michael gets the last shot. McHale knew Bird gets the last shot. Kobe and Shaq both thought they should get the last shot. So you want Luka to take the last shot. Can you get a guy who is really great but has the right temperament for it? Is not going to get the cover of the magazine in the big interview. It's not, he may not be as talented, but you need a certain personality to be a 2. So this article, we can yell and scream it's BS or not. There's a 2.5 year window here to find Luka a 2, and it's not easy.
Right. And aside from the part of the article where they talk about Luka's interactions with Bulgaris, the bigger issue to me with it, and I know Mark Cuban said it's BS, but to your point, there's enough sources in here. There are some people that are unhappy with the situation, even if they're exaggerating Luka's unhappiness with it. Every part of that dysfunction adds up. So Luka's frustration may add up. People within the organization not working together because maybe it's jealousy, to your point, or maybe it is that he's not making the right decisions and not cooperating with the rest of the organization and making decisions on draft picks and free agency picks. It all adds up. So having a functional culture is very important when you're working on these things, because free agents pay attention to this. Like, people don't want to go to a situation. It's like, well, what's going on with this guy? What's the deal with this? Like, anything and everything matters.
By the way, the prime example of that is you would think stars would want to play in New York. For years, they didn't want to play in New York because of the owners. So it's not, we make too much of the big market, small market. Philadelphia is a great NBA city, great market. For years, the process, tanking, it became, stars didn't want to be any part of that losing culture. So it's not market size. You got to get stuff buttoned up inside.
Because everyone talks.
Everybody